Hi there! Today we're going to make some finger puppets, and before I started this project I did make the braids for this finger puppet. The braiding of the hair does take a little bit of time, and so I did that off camera. And I just taped down some 100% wool yarn to my table so that I could braid the hair, and I think I used 2 strands for each, or rather 2 pieces of yarn for each strand of the braid. So basically 6 pieces of yarn for each side of those braids for this finger puppet. So some of the supplies I used are 100% wool yarn for the hair and 100% wool felt for the clothing and the bonnet, and then some hot glue. The glue gun is just perfect for this kind of project, and a pair of scissors, I think, and that was probably about it. Oh, of course, and the finger puppet mold, or the little base. So the felt and the yarn and the finger puppet base can all be purchased from achildsdream.com. They have some great supplies there for making a lot of little handicrafts. And so here I am making the little bonnet for this finger puppet, and I missed saying that I use little snippets from the hair to make her little bangs. So now I'm just making her a bonnet, and you just want to make sure that the bonnet, which is basically a triangle, is enough to fit all the way around the top of the head, and then for that little flap to go all the way to the base of basically the little finger puppet neck. And that's just so that it just covers the bare head. And I find that doing the hair on finger puppets is a little challenging, so a lot of my finger puppets have little hats or something to cover the head, because I find it a little bit difficult, especially for the boy finger puppets. So here I am just finishing up this little bonnet, and it just adds such a nice finishing touch to the hair and just the head. And there I was ruffling up the bangs in the front just to give them a little bit more volume. So now I feel like the hard part of the doll is done. I find the hair the most challenging part. And then it's just a matter of using a little piece of basically a rectangle piece to cover the base of the finger puppet. I don't really measure. I don't use a pattern. I'm just kind of eyeballing it and just cutting little pieces. Here I'm snipping the top of the collar area so that when I add the hot glue, it can fold into the neck a little bit easier, so there's not really a gap there. And here I'm just trimming off the base. I usually keep them a little bit longer than the wooden base. That has its pros and cons. I like having the finger puppet have a little bit more length, but at the same time it makes it hard for them to stand up by themselves. But I've gotten so used to having the finger puppets a little bit, or rather the clothing a little bit longer than the base of the finger puppet, that now it seems like my finger puppets would be too short if I trimmed them all the way down to the base. So here I've been trying out a couple different bits of felt, trying to figure out whether this is going to be like a mama finger puppet with a sling and a baby in a sling, or whether she's just going to have a little cloak. And so I try a couple of different, there was some Toblerone. Anyway, I try a couple of different colors, and I finally just go for a small piece that matches the bonnet, so it's kind of like a tone-on-tone green, and I think it goes really great with the red braids. And I basically just give her a very small cloak, and that basically finishes her off, but I think she's missing just one little thing. Sure enough, she needs a little button right where the cloak comes together. And so I just used a little metal accessory to put a button there for her. and then she's all finished. And so other than the braids, this only took me about 10 minutes to make. So it wasn't too long at all for this finger puppet. So there she is, all finished. Thanks for watching, guys.